Hey everybody, Jeff here again. Decided to make a second video. Didn't want to merge this in with the Record Store Day stuff. This is just regular mail stuff that has come in recently. One album I was really excited about. So, you know, you get so much stuff out there, you pre-order, and all of a sudden, sometimes you kind of forget what you got flowing around out there, or it gets mixed up with names and stuff. Well, I got an email like way over a week ago that had a person's name. So and so sent your package, and it had a tracking number, and I clicked it and it says it was coming from, I think, Kansas. And I'm just racking my brains. Who is that? What is that? You know, I don't know anybody by that name. I don't know anybody from Kansas. I don't know what this is I'm expecting. So I put it on, the text alerts for movement, and it sat for like a week. No movement. And I'm thinking, is this some kind of a scam or something? I didn't know what it was, and I'm racking my brains. Well, I pre-ordered this album by this band, but that's not going to be from Kansas, and it's not due until the end of July. Well, it hasn't shipped yet. Well, I pre-ordered this one from that band. Well, then there's that program over there that, a Kickstarter that I did a year ago, but that's not coming from Kansas. And so I didn't know what I was expecting. Then it started to move. Okay, somebody really shipped something from Kansas, and it's coming this way. And it moved, and then all of a sudden, we're out yesterday, and I'm like, whatever it is, it was delivered. Then it hit me, wait a minute, there's only one other thing that I'm thinking it could be, because I wouldn't recognize where it's coming from. I don't know what state it's coming from. And it was a arbitrary Kickstarter that while you're on Kickstarter, it says you might also like this. And I saw this one and I thought, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. And I sponsored it. It was fairly cheap to get the vinyl. I mean, like, really fairly cheap for the vinyl. And yeah, let's try that out. And so I started telling my wife, I said, I'm thinking it could be that, because I don't know where it's coming from or who it's coming from. I just remember sponsoring this, and I remember I got an update not too long ago that things were proceeding. And sure enough, I got home, and that's what it was. It is, let me take this out of here, because it's a Motorhead tribute. Now, it's called Ferociously Stoned. And it's got a bunch of bands that I've never heard of. But, and when I sponsored this Kickstarter, again, Motorhead, check. Cover tunes, check. Paying homage to Motorhead, check. I don't remember reading anything beyond that. Turns out, it's from a record label called The Company. You can't really see this as CO. And The Company is a record label out of Kansas City. And what they did is they got their roster of bands to play these songs. Now, I went to their website. After listening to this album, I was blown away. I'm like, oh my gosh. I kind of like Motorhead to a degree, but I loved these renditions. Most of them had kind of a sludgy, almost doom feel to it. The version of, I want to say it was, I was blown away by so many of them. I want to say Killed by Death or Ace of Spades. It was slow, but ominous, and I was like, oh my gosh, this song just went tenfold for me. The album, especially the first song. Some of these bands reminded me of that band Vanik that I listened to, that's kind of got that post-hardcore, kind of a thrash, metal, punk, at times doom feel. But these guys were doom, but they had that aggressive vocals that weren't so aggressive that you couldn't understand. Anyway, I was blown away. So I immediately had to go online and check out The Company. And I went and tracked down, and they've got, sure enough, all of these bands are on their roster. And I started listening to their stuff on Bandcamp. And I'm like, oh my goodness. A lot of these bands are doom bands. They are, post-doom this, doom that. No wonder. They are modern day doom bands from the Kansas City area for the most part. And every one of them have an album released by The Company, and all of them are like on sale now on their website. I mean, we're talking albums that are like $7, $8, $11, $15. Every one of them. 12 inches. They had some that were 7 inches that were $5. They have 10 inch that was like $7. Put them all in my cart. I haven't pulled the trigger yet because, again, I was out of money. Couldn't do record store day until today. So, but I looked at all these yesterday and went through them, and because I was like, this is amazing. Anyway, great album. Check it out. You can get it from the website. This edition is the exclusive, Kickstarter, and it's kind of on a blood swirl, they call it, kind of a brownish, bloodish green. Well, it's kind of a crimsonish blood swirl. It's got an insert there that's it's got information about the bands and songs and Lemmy and all that, and then it's got pictures of the bands who played. And you're not gonna be able to see this because I supported the vinyl edition. My name is in there, Jeff, right there where my finger is. See my name? Had my name in there. Anyway, I was blown away. Again, totally bought this almost blindly. I didn't know who the company were, didn't know who their roster bands were. Bought it strictly because, and this was, months and months ago after Lemmy passed away. It was kind of fresh, and they put this together and had the bands go in and record it. It also came with a little Motorhead flyer of a concert, a sticker from the company, which has a leaf on it that looks really suspicious, which is now legal in Virginia. A Motorhead sticker, which is very cool. And a Lemmy is God sticker. Get the glare off of that. Anyway, I encourage you to go to the company's website, and it is it's like thecompanyKC.com, I believe. I'll put it in the link. I'll put it here. But yeah, look them up if you like doom metal, stuff along that line. Because this, if you like Motorhead, get this. It is an amazing doom feeling metal. Sometimes it sounds like Motorhead because they got those vocals that are kind of, but it sounds just like Lemmy. So, but at times they've changed it up a little bit, and it sounds really good. Yeah, that was a great yesterday. So a couple weeks ago, I showed where I picked up this War of Ages. They're one of the metalcore bands that I enjoy. So I bought this because I had noticed on the band's record label's website that they were selling a couple of their other albums on sale. And I know I waited a long time to get some of these, and some of them are now out of my price range. But I went ahead, I don't know, about a week later and pulled the trigger on the band website. They only had 2 of their records left, and they all were released fairly in the past 5 years, I think, on vinyl or so. But like this is their 2007 album or something. The albums are a little bit older than that. So I picked up 2 more of these. They are on colors, and like I said, just one of my favorite, kind of a gold and black splatter. I remember, I think I discovered the band around this album, or maybe the one right before this, but I remember this album, playing this to death when it first came out. And that would have been back in, I don't want to guess, 2009, 10, 9. And this one is on like a frost green. But yeah, so now I've got 3 out of about, 7, 8 albums. I have one more that is like their second to the newest album. It's on back order with Amazon. Their newest album is on the Amazon wish list. It's only like $18. I was almost going to pull the trigger on that recently, but again, waiting. And so, but there's like 3 or 4 other ones that are now people are wanting $40 plus for them. So anyway, the only other thing I had is this just came in the mail today as I got home from Record Store Day, and this is a no-name band. You're not going to probably know this band at all, that I picked up on Discogs. And I know I've never had a problem with people shipping, and I know not everybody ships with the best of ease, but so I got this box. I won't open it yet. Do not bend. Do not bend. But then I noticed this. So, like I say, I've never had an issue, and I was hoping I wouldn't have an issue. I pulled it out. It's an album by a band called Wisdom, Face to Face. Again, they're a Christian band from like 85 that I have the cassette. I fell in love with the cassette. Don't know anything about the band. Could never find any information about the band. And finally went ahead and ordered one of these because of that special I was doing on another channel for albums I liked from 85. I wanted to get this because this is from 85. I don't know. This might have been there already. This was dinged. It's around the same corner though. So I'm pulling out and I'm checking it, and I'm like, I hope, but I was wrong. Oh, took the corner right off chipped that album. You can see that. So it's mainly the lead in. It doesn't look like it really. It probably got the first 1 or 2 tracks of the song, as far as the first 1 or 2 grooves. It's just such as it's all the lead in, but you know, it means that I'll have to start the song about probably 15, 20, 30 seconds into the song. And yeah, the pieces are in here. I'm gonna have to take all this apart. Anyway, but I noticed, you know, it was just an album in here. There are no stiffeners. There were no extra albums. There were no extra cardboard or anything. So I wrote the guy and said, you really need to put some additional stiffeners, because these albums get put into boxes of media mail, and all these other packages are on top of it, and they're being pushed down, and you know, while it's not bending, it is curving, and if you don't have something stiffener in there to hold it, it's going to, something like that could happen. I don't mind if the corner gets bent and the album cover gets bent. I'm not a big stickler on that, but in this case it broke. So I don't know. I wrote the guy and said, look, I really encourage you. You need to start putting some stiffeners in there. You need to get some extra cardboard pieces and put them in there, or whatever. It needs to be thicker, because all the weight pushes the albums down. So I don't know. Maybe he'll give me some credit or something. I'm not sure how we're going to work that out. 95, 98% of the album is still good. The next one for sale on Discogs for that album is like $50 from overseas. So, you know, this will be my playable copy until I could find another copy. Again, I have the cassette. It's just an album by a band. I found a cassette in like a Christian bookstore, you know, throw out demo bin, or, you know, cut out bin or whatever. And for some reason, it's kind of poppy. It's kind of proggy at times, kind of, I don't know, guitar pop, but I really fell in love with the album, and so I really wanted to get it on vinyl, and I got a fairly workable copy. Anyway, that's all for this one. Again, sharing the stories there. Thanks for watching. Rock on and rock hard.